Hello, dear students. How are you all? I will hope you all are fine. I'm Pupinder Verma, your science teacher. Dear students, welcome in class. This is a lecture of class ninth, and we today we are going to start chapter tissue of the biology. This is the second chapter of biology. In this chapter, we'll discuss about the tissue of plants and animals. Okay, this is the first lecture of class. So in this lecture, we'll discuss about only temporary tissue in the plants. So let's start the lecture. First is we all know that all living organisms are made up of cells. All living organisms in this world are made up of cells, and there are unicellular as well as multicellular organisms present in this world. In unicellular organism, the only single cell is capable of performing several functions such as a respiration, digestion, clearing of waste of the cell, etc. We have already studied in last chapter. In the multicellular organism, there is a division of labor. We all know that in multicellular organism there is a division of labor, and there are the different types as well as the groups of cells that perform the different function in multicellular organism. Different types of groups of cells, that means they form a tissue. For example, in animals, muscle cells are responsible for causing movement, nerve cells are responsible for carrying messages and signals from one part of body to another part, and blood is responsible for transportation of food and oxygen to different parts of body. So that's why we say that they have the division of labor. Different cells perform the different function in body. In the plants, there are vascular tissue that are responsible for carrying food and water to different parts of a plant. That is, xylem and phloem tissue are responsible for it. So, the formation of tissue. The cells form groups that need to perform a single task, often grouped together. Group of cells that perform a single task, this is form a tissue. This grouping of the cells together to perform a function efficiently is called a tissue. For example, muscles and blood, in which blood is a connective tissue. And the tissue cells have the same structure and they perform the same function. What is the main thing is here? The cells of the same tissue have the similar in structure and same function. Now we differentiate between animal tissue and plant tissue. What is the difference between animal and plant tissue? Plants do not move, so their tissues are predominantly the ones that provide the support to them so they can stand erect. We all know that plants are grow out whole lifetime period, but they do not move from one place to another place. So their tissues are provide the strength and support them to stand erect. Animal tissue need more energy as compared to plants because they are not stationary. Their tissues are the ones that can support the movement. Plant tissue needs less energy because they do not support the movement, but animal tissue needs energy because they support the movement. The tissue of the plants are made up of dead cells because dead cells can also provide mechanical strength to the plants and do not require much maintenance. Because their cells are dead, they require less maintenance, but the tissue in the case of animals are made up of living cells so that they can move and perform several functions. They can move and perform several functions, so they need more maintenance. Only certain parts of the plant can grow. These tissues present in such regions of and divide themselves and form a new tissue. Certain part of the plants can grow, that is called apical parts. They have a divide themselves form a new tissue. That means not a division of labor, cell differentiation. The cell in the animal grow uniformly and not only the certain regions of the body. Cell in animal grow uniformly in all part of body, not on the any region same. Next is the structure of the plant tissue is not very specialized as compared to animal cells, but the organ system of the animals are highly developed or specialized. So let us now differentiate the plant tissue. Plant tissue, first we discuss meristematic tissue, and it is known as temporary tissue. Meristematic tissue and temporary tissues, first part. So meristematic tissue divide throughout life. That means it is present in mainly apex part of roots and stems. It's a three kinds: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. Intercalary meristem, apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. Then permanent tissue divided into further as simple tissue and complex tissue. Permanent tissue, they lost to ability to divide further, are known as permanent tissue. Simple and complex. Simple tissue are parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, and complex is two kind: xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem. Let us discuss one by one each of them. So types of plant tissue. First is meristematic tissue. Only certain parts of the plant tend to grow. The tissue located in such parts are called meristematic tissue. That means it is found in those parts. These are tend to grow in whole lifetime. Only they have a capability to divide themselves and form new tissues. They have a capability to divide themselves from the new tissues. They have a thin cell walls made up of cellulose. The cells of these tissues are made up of cell wall of these tissue cells are made up of cellulose. Also have the dense nucleus and cytoplasm but lack vacuoles. Vacuoles are less but the cytoplasm is dense and nucleus is present. They can further classify and differentiate on the basis of the areas of the plants where they are located: apical meristem, lateral meristem, and intercalary meristem. Now, in picture, it's clearly visible. Apical meristem is found in the tips, apex or tips of the plants or roots or stem, where the new apex is generated. That means a fresh part of plant where it is grow. That is known as apical meristem tissue is present, and this is known as apex part. Below the apical meristem, middle one is intercalary meristem. Middle one is intercalary and the bottom one is lateral. So we learn with the AIL. AIL on topmost apical, then middle is intercalary and the bottom is lateral meristem. Now we create a differentiate between all of three, then we understand well. Apical meristem, they are responsible for the growth of the stems and roots in the plants. They are responsible for growth in stems and roots in plants. Why? Because they are the freshly found in the apical region and promote to growth. And they are found on the tips of the roots and stem, where it is found tips of the roots and stems. Next is lateral. They are responsible for increasing circumference of the middle part of the stem and hence are found there. Middle part of stem circumference, that means girth. They make the girth of the plant, उसकी मोटाई बनाते हैं middle part. And intercalary, these tissues are present at the internodes of the stem regions. Internodes where the branches are separated, from the stem, that is known as internode region, or the stem regions between the places at where the leaves attach, and petiole region from where the leaf is attached to the stem. Petiole region where the leaf is attached with the stem is known as petiole region. So intercalary is found in internodes and petiole region. I hope students you understand well what is the difference between apical, lateral and intercalary and where they are found. Next, the question is why there are no vacuoles in intercalary meristem. So answer is vacuoles are responsible for storage of the food and water. The intercalary tissue don't store them because they are rather responsible for manufacturing them. Why they don't have the vacuoles? Because vacuoles are responsible for storing the food and water. Food is stored in phloem cell vacuoles and the water stored in the xylem cell parenchyma tissues, but intercalary tissue do not need for this because they prepare themselves, responsible for manufacturing the food and water they carry them. Moreover, vacuoles contain sap which provide rigidity to the cell. This property of the vacuoles may not allow the intercalary tissues. This property of vacuoles may not allow the intercalary tissue to divide and manufacture new cells. So hence vacuoles are not present in them. because vacuoles have a shape, they provide the rigidity. If the tissues, your meristematic tissues are rigid, then they do not easily divide, and this property does not help to make the new cells. So that's why they don't have vacuoles. I hope students you understand why they don't have vacuoles. Now we discuss permanent tissue. The cells that are formed by the meristematic tissue often have to take a certain role in plants, and thus they lose their ability to divide and form more cells. Permanent tissue, how permanent tissue form? When apical meristem tissue are grown and they form the permanent tissue under the a process known as cell differentiation. The cells that are formed by the meristematic tissue often have the take a certain role in plant, thus they lose their ability to divide to form more cells. They become permanent tissue of the plants. Then they become permanent tissue of plant. What is cell differentiation? We know well, the process by which the cell of the meristematic tissue convert themselves into permanent tissue. The cells of meristematic tissue convert them into permanent tissue by change their shape, size and function. It's called cell differentiation. That means one kind of the cell convert into another kind of cell. Types of permanent tissue: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So in this part we only discuss simple permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue are parenchyma, collenchyma, arenchyma, chlorenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. The main are parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Now we discuss each of them one by one. First is discuss parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, and also create the difference between them. Parenchyma. These tissues are responsible for photosynthesis, storage of food, gaseous exchange and the floating of the plants. Why they are responsible? Responsible for photosynthesis, that means they are present in a part where is a chlorophyll is present, storage of food and gaseous exchange and floating of plants. So they are generally present in that region where are the chlorophyll present, that leaves mainly, and they are the group of the living cells, and with the cell wall is made up of cellulose, so they contain or living cells. The parenchyma cells have the large intercellular space between them. The parenchyma cells have the large intercellular space, that means the space between the cells, that is known as the intercellular space. These are thin walls. There are thin walls that surround each cell. There are thin walls that are surround each cells. Their cell wall is thin. They are found in the leaves and newly formed branches. Where it is located? It is located in leaves and newly formed branches. So I hope you understand where is the permanent parenchyma tissue is found and what is the role of it. Next is collenchyma. These tissues are responsible for providing flexibility to the plants and so that they can bend easily. Collenchyma provide flexibility to the plant, and there are group of the living cells, and with the cell wall made up of cellulose and pectin. The parenchyma tissue cell wall is only made up of cellulose, but here the cellulose is made of pectin and cellulose, two types of sugar. They have the little intercellular space between them. They have the little intercellular space. There are the more space. There are the less space. The cells present in the tissue are broad and irregularly thick and corners. The cells are broad, broad means large, and irregularly thick at corners. That means this kind of projection, irregularly thick at corners, not fixed thick. They are present in leaves and stems of plant. Where they are found, they are present in leaves and stems of plants. Next is sclerenchyma. These tissue are responsible for making plants hard and rigid. These tissue are responsible for making plants hard and rigid. That means they provide the support, and they are made up of dead cells having the cell wall made up of lignin. Having the cell wall made up of lignin. Lignin is another kind of sugar, and their cells don't have any intercellular space. Their cells are tightly packed, don't have intercellular space. All cells are attached with them permanently. The cells have the long structures and thick walls. Their cells are the long structures and thick walls. They are found in the stems, veins of the leaves, and covering of the nuts and seeds. Where they are found in stems, veins of the leaves, What are the veins of the leaves? The venations in the leaf present, they are the hard in nature, and covering of the nuts and seeds. We all know that covering of the seeds and nuts are also hard, so they are found in there. Next is chlorenchyma. It is clear from the name chlorenchyma, that means tissue of chlorophyll. These tissues are similar to that of parenchyma, but they also contain chlorophyll. The parenchyma tissue that contain chlorophyll are known as chlorenchyma. Due to the presence of chlorophyll, they are capable for performing photosynthesis in plants. Parenchyma. They are found in aquatic plants. Aquatic plants, parenchyma, they are the make the plant light in weight. That why it is help to float the plant in water. They are also similar in structure so that the parenchyma, but they have the larger air cavities in them. So these cavities allow the aquatic plants to float in water. Next is, what is lignin? The cell walls of the dead cells have the substance called lignin in them, which provide the rigidity to the cell, and lignin act as a cement for the cell. So remember, the point is here, which substance is work like as a cement for the cells of the plants. Lignin is a substance which work as a cement for the cells of plants. I hope students you will understand up to here, and the remaining section of the chapter we'll discuss in next section. Thank you and have a nice day.